Hey, this is Hammer with the 2,000 point Blood and Glory against the Chaos opponent. So, haven't been able to fit any games in the last 2.5 months. I decided to make the extra effort to fit them into my schedule just because I missed the game so much. So, it was my first shot at a smaller game at 2,000 points, smallest I've ever played. So, pretty much took a lot of things in my list that have worked for me in the past. Nothing too new here. So bottom left, I got a trebuchet, mounted yeoman behind the forest. Got my 11 Knights of the Realm, Standard of Discipline, Heroic Killing Bow General with 6 attacks, Luckstone, Potion of Foolhardiness, Dragon Helm. Got 48 Men-at-Arms with a level 2 of Beast with the prayer icon. Got 10 Knights of the Realm with a War Banner. Got a Combat Paladin with Yoga Blade, Enchanted Shield. And my BSB has Sword of Might and Gromwell Great Helm. 4 Peg Knights, 5 Mounted Yeomen, and off the screen to the bottom right is another trebuchet. So my opponent has a big unit of Chosen as his leftmost block. Tzeentch Warriors down the center, War Shrine behind them. He's got a block of Nurgle Warriors behind the house with his BSB. And on the far right of the board, he has a flying special character. I think it's called Valkyrie, something like that. It's like a female Chaos Lord that can fly, and is pretty nasty in close combat. So this is Chaos turn 1, Brett turn 1. Yeah, it'd probably take me a little bit to get on top of my picture taking again, but basically his turn 1 moves his battle line forward, gets his Nurgle Knights into the house, and flies his special character down my right flank, as you can see, which I was hoping he would go for my trebuchet. He got +1 strength on his Chosen, but other than that, he had no other shooting or magic. On my turn, I had no charges, moved my Peg Knights forward to threaten the flank of his War Shrine. Pop both units of Yeoman forward so I can redirect whatever I need to. I took my Damsel out of my unit, and I got Wyson's Wild Form on my Men-at-Arms, and Character Toughness on my BSB. My shooting phase, 1 Treb misfired. I was trying to land a rock on the Valkyrie character. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. And the other Treb maybe clipped a warrior or 2 out the Tzeentch block. So just another picture of turn 1. Chaos turn 2, so he does charge a special character into my trebuchet, which I was pretty happy with. 410 point character or so. Yeah, I like that that character is not in the center where all the action is right now. So looking more towards the center, he charged his Tzeentch block into my Mounted Yeoman, and I elected to flee. He tried to redirect into my BSB's unit, but failed, so he's pulled out of position, and I have an easy charge with both my Men-at-Arms and my BSB's unit. So to counter, he took his Chosen block up to protect the flank of his Tzeentch block in case I went into him with my General's unit, which I don't think I would have done. But he also took his Nurgle unit from the building and put him right in front of the building. I just took this picture too early. So Brett turn 2, I get the flank of the War Shrine with my Peg Knights and make the double charge into the Tzeentch block. Very confident about this one, should put him on double ones, no problem, especially with Wyson's on my Men-at-Arms. This was not my original plan though. Because the Nurgle block came out where they did, it kind of shifted my charge over a bit, such that my Men-at-Arms were clipping the Chosen block. So originally I wanted to just blow past with my Knight unit and reform with my Men-at-Arms, but instead I'll clip him in the flank, which ends up strangely, as you'll see. And then I was going to take the leftmost Yeoman unit and just block the Chosen block, but instead I'll get in combat with them earlier than I wanted to. So my mounted yeomen failed to rally, of course, with their crappy leadership. I think my other trebuchet may have killed 1 or 2 warriors, but going to close combat, yeah, so we easily put the Zinch block on double ones, but they got away, which was huge over the course of the game. So I pursued with both units, and my men-at-arms clipped the Chosen. So they wheeled as far as they possibly could to the flank of the Chosen, but then the Chosen had to align their flank to my men-at-arms, which is just one of those weird situations. Not as bad as it could have been, though. I've seen others where the unit aligns itself like 90 degrees towards the charging unit, so kind of awkward, but not as bad as it could have been. So Chaos 3, he takes his Nurgle warriors with his BSB into the flank of my men-at-arms. His Zinch block rallies at the top of the board, unfortunately, and he flies his special character up to threaten my damsel or my general. So in this combat, I still had Weissens on my men-at-arms. I ended up only losing 6 of them, so clearly steadfast, and I held. I think I managed to pick off 1 or 2 warriors too with my strength 5 men-at-arms. So breath turn 3, he reformed his Chosen wide to face my men-at-arms. He knew he was giving up his flank to my general's unit, but figured the combat res would matter more in the next combat. So I went ahead and charged my general's unit into his flank, knowing that I would likely be steadfast with my knights. And also these Chosen didn't have the 3-up ward save or stubborn. They just had +1 strength, which, if anything, just helps me get my 5-up ward save. I also took my BSB's unit into his war shrine. So my Peg Knights had been unable to get through his 3-up ward save, maybe put 1 wound on him, and couldn't beat it despite being in the flank. So I took my BSB's unit there to clean this up and hopefully overrun into the Zinch block. So I had already gotten the banner for Blood and Glory from the Zinch block breaking from combat. However, I didn't want to turn my BSB's unit around and face the main combat, knowing that the Zinch block would likely charge the flank of my Peg Knights, beat him, and maybe run into the rear of my BSB's unit, which would be 2 banners to him. And I didn't think I could move my BSB's unit far enough out of the charge arc of the Zinch block anyways, such that I would face the main combat. So I figured if I could crush this War Shrine, get the Zinch block off the table, I would still have enough time for my men-at-arms to be steadfast, for my general's unit to be steadfast, also, that I could get back and get into the main combat. So that was my decision-making at this point. So he'd moved his special character up to threaten my damsel. So I decided to march her and park her right next to his character, so they could have a little girl time together, Then I threw 6 dice at Weissen's wild form on my men-at-arms, hoping she would miscast and put a wound on his character, which is exactly what happened. I was only willing to do this because my opponent had no magic or shooting to speak of that would enable him to pick off that last wound of my damsel. So looking towards the center combats, yeah, my BSB's unit crushed the War Shrine, and I reformed with my Peg Knights. But I didn't roll hardly anything, and my BSB's unit is now exposed to a frontal charge from the Zinch block, unfortunately. So in this picture, the center combat hadn't been fought yet, but basically what happened is say charged in, killed like 5 or 6 Chosen, lost more men-at-arms, and it ended up being a drawn combat. And he reformed his Nurgle Knights, kind of did a combat slide down the flank of my men-at-arms. So Chaos turn 4, he charges his special character into the flank of my general, which certainly had me worried not knowing its capabilities. The first combat in this turn, he charged his Zinch block into the front of my double paladin BSB unit, and those paladins just crushed him. And won combat easily, and for some reason I chose to pursue, and pursued him right off the board. Literally like 5 seconds after I made the decision to pursue, I was like, oh crap, this is blood and glory. Normally, I just love to get points off the board in battle line, but yeah, for some reason in that instance I forgot, which certainly cost me. So this center combat once again is before combat, but he killed one knight, I think, and his special character was ridiculous. It had like 7 attacks, strength 7, killing blow, and it killing blowed my general. I think it was no armor saves were allowed as well. So, man, I couldn't see the rules for this character on, the Games Workshop website, but if any of you have the cast book, I'd love to know more details about what this thing does, because yeah, I don't want to face it again. But anyways, he crushed my general, killed several men-at-arms. My general's unit broke. They were no longer steadfast, and the special character ran them down. But my peasants managed to hold. So now he's got a banner, another banner, not another banner, but he's got one banner, and he's got my general's points. So definitely behind in fortitude at this point. So on Brett turn 4, I charged my Peg Knights into the rear of the Nurgle block, just desperate to make something happen, because my men-at-arms, having held for so long and so well, were just about at the breaking point and losing me another banner to lose me the game. So I had to make something happen. Also, my BSB's unit came back on the board, but too late, of course. The picture you're looking at now is where his special character ran down my general's unit. So in my shooting phase, I fired a trebuchet rock right on her head and just crushed her with 5 multiple wounds. So there's some justice in the world. So this is how things looked after combat on Brett turn 4. Yeah, there's my BSB's unit, just really wanting to charge, but not able to. So he killed a ton of men-at-arms. I was no longer steadfast with him. I broke clearly on double ones, and that's where the game ended. He got another fortitude. We were tied after I crushed his general, but he got this one more fortitude, and that won him the game right there. So it was a really exciting and close game for 2,000 points. Really had a lot of fun. It was nice to get a quick game in after work too. So maybe I'll try a couple more weeknight games with a 2K army. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, and did get another 3K against a Dark Elf army that I'll post when I can.